This is Idiots with Opinions. Idiots may vary.
What's up, everybody? I'm halfway through a Sudoku puzzle. Todd's jacking around with his audio mic, and you know what that means.
It means it's Idiots with Opinions.
Yeah, way to cut me off there right at the beginning of the podcast.
You're
Just
welcome.
Undermine me right from the start.
I'm looking to overthrow you as the podcast master so that I can be the only one who talks. Pretty soon it's just going to be Todd.
Yeah?
This podcast is going to be Idiots with Todd. Just Todd.
That same jingle doesn't have the ring to it. When you go, Todd, in the morning, it just doesn't. Yeah.
But it's better, though. Todd and Todd in the morning.
Yeah,
That was our original theme song. For those of you who are confused.
Yeah, back in high school when we wanted to make a podcast, before we knew that podcasts were going to be a thing, we decided we were just going to be Todd and Tuscan in the morning. And we totally stole the riff from Troy and Abed in the morning from Community.
Yes.
I don't know if you ever... I mean, I know you saw that show, Todd, but I don't know if our listeners ever saw Community and, know what we're talking about. But,
Hey, it's a good show. I'd recommend it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. Their whole catchphrase was six seasons in a movie. They've got six seasons, but not the way they wanted them. That's for darn sure. They got it on, what was it, like Yahoo TV?
Yahoo Screen.
Yahoo Screen. God, what a terrible service. I actually can't vouch for it. I've never heard of it.
Neither has anyone else.
No, and that's Community's problem. I really feel bad. I mean, is Donald Glover still in that?
What?
Community. Like the late seasons that they put on Yahoo Screen.
He left in the middle of the 5th.
Okay. All right. That sounds about right. His career moved on.
Yeah,
that's for sure. Man, dude, I gotta tell you, I've been doing these. I've been doing this workout routine, right? And I found it online somewhere. It's the Mad Russian push-up regimen, right? And basically, what you do is it's a 2-week routine where at the beginning of 2 weeks you take the maximum number of push-ups you can do in the morning. And so for me, that was 50 push-ups. I could do 50 push-ups in a row without, stopping. And then, from that, you take a certain percentage of that push-up count. Day one, it was 30%. So I did 15 push-ups every hour on the hour for the rest of that day. And then the next day, they up it to 50%. So now I had to do 25 push-ups every hour on the hour. And then yesterday, it was 60%. So I had to do 30 push-ups every 45 minutes.
How weird is it in your daily working life?
It's weird. I mean, you always look like the weirdo who, stops whatever he's doing at any moment, when his alarm goes off on his phone, to, get down on the ground and do 30 push-ups. It's a weird thing. I knew somebody
who... every time they walked through a door, they would do 20 push-ups.
Yeah, that's a military thing.
Yeah, it is a military thing. They were in the military.
Yeah. They talk about that in Basic or something. Every time you transition from inside to outside, or vice versa, you have to do 20 or 25 push-ups, depending on what your drill sergeant tells you to do. But anyway, I'm on day 4 of this, and today's kind of a rest day. I only have to do 13 push-ups, which is 25% of my goal, every hour. But tomorrow they up it to 45 push-ups, not 45 push-ups, 45% every 30 minutes. So tomorrow's going to be hell, but
Yeah, you're going to look real weird.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's going to be all upper body strength. I have no idea if this is going to make me more ripped or...
not a chance.
Yeah, probably not. But I mean, it's a 2-week thing, right? So I know on Tuesday I need to start the process over again. I'm going to max out my push-ups in the morning again. And then from there, I'll use that benchmark to determine what I'll do for week 2. And I mean, I'm taking it seriously. I've been doing my push-ups. I mean, 15 minutes ago, right now was the hour for me. So I don't know if you heard me because we were on FaceTime back then.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I stopped what I was doing and went and did 13 push-ups.
He just said, "Whoa, my alarm's going off. Better do some push-ups." I was like,
Yep.
"Oh, okay."
Well, your screen went dark, so I didn't know if you. We've had bad connection and some technical difficulties. So, Todd, I gotta tell you about a couple things I found on the internet, Todd.
Oh, what'd you find?
Well, Todd, I don't want to jump on the bandwagon. I don't want to jump on the bandwagon and be the guy who's saying PC culture's gone too far. The rest of the people in the world have to like adjust their entire thinking to accommodate everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
We need to include everybody in this world, Todd, because if we don't, they'll get left behind, and they'll get mad, and we'll get in trouble, and that's just how these things go.
That's right.
I have a feeling this takes it too far, and so I'm going to talk about it. There is a man named Donald Nixon, and he is in the middle of a class action lawsuit in which he is suing Playboy.com.
Ah, yes.
Did you see this one?
I did.
Yeah. Basically, he's saying that Playboy.com, the website owned by the notorious publication Playboy magazine, in case you were unaware, is not blind friendly, meaning they're not. Their website is not accommodated to people without the ability to see.
The visually impaired? Is it
The
just
visually
blind
impaired.
people?
I don't care. They're blind. If blind becomes a thing that I can't say, they're blind. They're
No,
blind
I know.
people. They can't
But visually
see.
impaired is different than blind.
Well, this guy's blind.
Still, I think this person's stupid for what I saw the headline was, but I'm not as read up on the story as you are. Continue.
He says he's legally blind, and visually impaired people like him cannot fully and equally use or enjoy the facilities, products, and services offered by Playboy.com. To which I say, you're clearly not just coming for the articles. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you were coming for the articles, there's a service that like would read you those articles, right? But this guy apparently feels that he should be entitled to some sort of visual aspect. I don't get it. I mean, I really don't. I don't understand what solution he's pushing for from Playboy.com.
Why is he not suing the rest of the internet?
I don't know, because Playboy's an easy target. Maybe he thinks they'll settle easily. I'm not sure. Maybe he's particularly upset that he can't see the women on this website. I've never visited Playboy.com. Have you?
No.
No. I can't imagine they have a ton to offer.
You know how they have, like, what you just mentioned, people who read articles, or like the softwares that will read the text on a website to you.
Right.
Maybe Playboy just needs to have somebody describe the pictures.
Why?
Have some old uncle guy just be like, yeah, so it looks like this is happening over here, this is happening over there. That's the picture.
Check this out. Cute little number over here in the corner.
Yeah.
She got the bunny ears. You know how it is.
Yeah.
No, I think this is absurd. I heard something similar yesterday where it was like apparently calling something crazy or insane. Like if you're like, whoa, that's crazy. Or like, oh my gosh, that's insane. That is apparently not PC to the mentally insane. Apparently we need to accommodate the insane now. And
well, we do, but it's not like that's going to help.
We don't need to accommodate the insane to this degree.
Not that degree. Yeah, I'm saying we're not handling it well, but that's not the way to go about it.
I think we're handling it just fine. I think we should bring back lobotomies, personally. Just make them a vegetable. They'll be perfectly happy.
Tuscan Fairfield's views do not reflect the views of Volatile Studios.
No, I'm just kidding. But I do think that this has gone a little bit too far. I think that calling people... like, if you were to be like, you're a crazy person to a crazy person, that's not off base. If you were to call somebody who's not crazy, who's like had 5 shots in the last 12 minutes, if you're like, dude, you're freaking crazy tonight, that's not off base. Or like, you know, you go out to a party and there are like a ton of people there and you're like, whoa, this is insane. I don't think that's off base either. I think all of these things are acceptable terms, right? Mm-hmm. You know, I
want to know what I don't know. There's a lot of like language policing that goes on with this, and I want to know if there's anyone listening. Send us what you think about if this is a good thing or a bad thing, because I think Tuscan and I both think that it's a bad thing, but I'd be interested to hear an argument for the other side.
Yeah, what do we gain as a culture by telling people they can't say things, right? Because I know when I learned what the bad words were that I couldn't say in public, I was sure to use them frequently in private, right?
Yeah. That's what a kid does.
Well, that's what all people do. You know,
also, just why are they bad words? Did you ever watch that Julian Smith video that he came out with not too long ago?
Julian Smith is releasing videos still?
Yeah.
Really?
But he took a break. Anyway, he had this video talking about the history of swear words, which was really interesting. And there's basically swear words didn't exist until like the 18th century.
That sounds about
right,
yeah.
It was basically a classist thing. Like they were like, well, we don't want to we're going to police our own language because we're better than this other race that is lower class than us.
Right. They call feces this.
Yeah.
And so now, if you say that, you need to use these high class terms.
Yeah, exactly. And so, I mean, Julian Smith was like, well, I mean, it was based upon like a racist ideology. So if you don't swear, you're racist.
I mean, yeah. And, you know, the same thing goes with wearing white after Labor Day. That was a whole thing in like country clubs. All the elite decided, because it was like, I can't remember what it was. It was probably mid 19th century or mid 20th century in America. Some people decided that they needed a way, like a reliable way, to differentiate the people with old money that had been members of the country club for many years with the people who had new money, right? They'd come into this money and now they're able to afford country club memberships. So they basically made up all these arbitrary fashion rules about like what you can and cannot wear. So if they see somebody wearing white after Labor Day, they're like, oh, you must be a member of the lower class, you know? And so stuff like that. I mean, our history is rife with, like, if you think of somebody as lesser for using certain words or for dressing a certain way, it only reflects what the upper class thinks about the lower class.
Exactly. Also, there's like, I don't know for sure on this. This is basing off of my memory from like a year ago. But apparently, like, the language that they used in the first translation of the Bible was the same sort of language that was then looked down upon centuries later.
Yeah, probably.
So, like, in a way, those swear words were, like, in the Bible, which is, like, supposed to be the most holy of books, you know?
Right.
So, I don't know. It's just, like, language is such an interesting thing, and... yeah, I think it's stupid to have these rules on it, other than like what each word means specifically, which is obvious. But you know,
yeah, I think that, I don't know. I mean, there are obviously certain words that you can't use publicly.
See,
lest you
here's
be
my
shamed.
thing. I believe that like in any context, it all just matters on what you mean with it. Like, I don't think that a lot of words are bad as long as you don't use them in a hostile way, you know?
Yeah.
But like, obviously society is not on the same page as me, so I tend to censor myself in that for that purpose. But like, I don't know, as a principle, I think that like language, it doesn't matter. It's just like these rules that we've made up for it to like, oh, we shouldn't say these words based on an ideology that it's like, because this class was higher than this class. That whole ideology is stupid, in my opinion, and I think everyone's an idiot. And
Okay.
if you don't swear,
Same.
yeah, you're racist.
All right, Todd. What do you got
What do
for
I have
me?
for you? I'm covering a story about the Secretary of State for Health and Social Care, Matt Hancock. He is in Britain.
Okay.
He's the British politician of the Conservative Party, serving as a member of Parliament for West Suffolk since 2010. And yeah, he's been Secretary of State for Health and Social Care since 2018. So anyway, everyone's freaking out about what he said because they think it's ironic. He was saying that the NHS, the National Health Service, should be run more like McDonald's. And what he says is, I mean, it's ironic, but it's actually got some weight to it, I think.
Yeah.
He's basically saying, look at McDonald's. For example, they're nowhere near as important as the NHS. What they do is spectacularly less complex, yet they start leadership training at a shift manager level. They drive leadership training through every level of the company, and restaurant managers learn how to develop culture of continuous improvement. So basically, he's just saying that the way that they set up their government should be run better, and they should like care about the leaders a little bit more than they do. I mean, like McDonald's cares more about finding the leaders and like getting them to the top, but they don't do that with a company or the governmental system that actually matters to people's well-being. It's ironic, but like, I don't know. I think he doesn't deserve the crap that he's getting for it.
You think he's got a point?
Yeah, I do. I do indeed.
I mean, I really think that McDonald's has a good system going on, right? Like, you can go anywhere in the world and have a very consistent McDonald's meal. Right?
Yeah.
You have the Big Mac in Austin, Texas. You have the Big Mac in New York City. You have the Big Mac in Beijing, and it probably tastes the same as it does anywhere in the world.
Which might be disturbing to some.
Yeah, I mean, I know that McDonald's does a bunch of regional stuff, right? Like, they go into a different country. They like to sort of mirror the cultural food that country gets.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's probably a good move for McDonald's. I think they do a good job with that. But I really don't think that they... I don't know. Maybe you should model a government after McDonald's.
Yeah.
McDonald's has already taken over the world.
Yeah, let's just make McDonald's our king.
I'm down with that.
Let's make Ronald McDonald the president of the world, Tuscan.
And I'm sure as hell not going to make the Burger King the king from Burger King. No, he has no place in the New World Order.
Who's the purple guy?
Concerned. The purple guy? Grimace.
Grimace for Secretary of State.
Yeah, Grimace for Secretary of State. I'm pretty sure you could put the Hamburglar in for like he could be the Attorney General.
Yeah, he's the Attorney General.
Hamburglar makes the Attorney General. I mean, what is the Fry guy?
The Fry guy?
You know about the Fry guys?
I don't remember the Fry guys.
The Fry guys were like these fuzzy fur balls or something. I can't remember what their whole deal was, but
whatever
the Fry
happened
guys,
to that? That was such a. I feel like that was such a like marketable thing. Like they were selling those things to kids, and now we don't see that anymore.
Well, I think it was
people
like
just get tired or something.
I think there was an advertising thing about it, right? Like there was a whole movement about whether or not you could advertise to kids. And McDonald's had not about if you could advertise to kids, but if you could use programming to explicitly advertise to kids, right? Like take the He-Man cartoons, for example. They only existed to sell the He-Man action figures.
Yeah.
And the same thing with Transformers.
Yeah. Well, same thing with I don't know, like they still use like blockbuster movies and stuff to sell
but
toys to kids.
They sell toys based on movies, but they don't make shows about toys that are around anymore. You know what I mean?
Stupid. I think that's stupid, Tuscan.
Yeah?
I think that's insane. That's crazy.
I agree with that premise. But like I think the McDonald's thing was an 80s push to like get more kids into McDonald's, right? And so they had Ronald McDonald, and they had the Hamburglar, and they had Grimace, who was the mascot for the Shake, and they had the Fry Guys and all that stuff.
This is why the 80s were a better time. Just kidding.
I don't know
this
if
is
they
a
were.
great time.
I don't know if they were.
Hey, I like 80s music.
On it with, well, yeah.
There's 80s nostalgia all around right now, so.
Sure. Because all those people are having a midlife crisis right now, and it's really easy to sell to them.
Yeah.
But if you look at our generation, I'm sure in 30 years there will be a huge wave of like the mid 2000s and the teens and all that, and you'll be like, remember that time,
Remember that time they played Boom Boom Pow on the radio for days and days and days?
Yeah, just never ended. Freaking Black Eyed Peas. I mean, that's going to be nostalgia one day, right? We'll look back on Kanye West and we'll be like, remember him? He was an icon. He was I mean, the way they look back on people, and they're like, but do you remember how he was when, like, he was around? Like,
yeah.
It was weird. He was a weird guy.
I don't remember, like, do you think that celebrities will make more news, like, because our time, I feel like that's the case, whereas I don't think that's somebody's knocking at my door. I'll be right back.
Okay. Well, I've got the podcast alone for a minute, guys. It's just you and me. Todd stepped away to talk to somebody else, and it's just me flashing out my own idiotic opinions. I don't know what that means for our world, but we could be alone. Oh, thank God you're back, Todd. I don't know how people do podcasts alone. I was talking to the audience by myself, and I couldn't have gone for too much longer.
It was my roommate. He kept his key in here. But anyway, what were we talking about?
I don't know, the Hamburglar?
Dude, McDonald's is not a sponsor, but they're gonna be my president soon.
Well,
Ronald's, dude, I bet Ronald has like so many girlfriends.
Yeah, you think so?
Ronald McDonald is a heartbreaker.
That's right, guys. You heard it here first. Ronald McDonald out there breaking hearts. All right, I got to move on to this next story, Todd. Let's talk about Delta for a minute. Delta doesn't usually have scandals, and this is pretty low level scandal. Yeah. One of the few airlines not to be in international headlines in the past few weeks. Let's try to break them. Let's see what Delta's got to offer. So, Todd, you've taken a lot of flights in your time. You do it very often. Many times a year, you go on planes, and
I flap my arms from once every while.
Yeah, you know how it works. So, imagine you're at 30,000 feet, and you open up your gay dating app Grindr to see what new hotties and twinks in the area have messaged you right recently. And you see a text message, or you see a message on Grindr from the pilot of the airplane you're on that says, "Hey, I see you're on my flight. Enjoy the ride to Chicago."
What?
Yep. That's what happened to 27-year-old J.P. Thorne on a Delta flight from St. Paul, Minnesota to Chicago, Illinois. And so apparently he reacted by thinking, I need to get off this plane as fast as humanly possible. Because I'm being like, that my pilot is coming on to me, right? And, it's not like the pilot was saying anything super creepy or anything like that. Like, he was just making, normal two consenting adults sexual advances.
I wonder if this was the first time or, like, this had just worked many times before.
Yeah. No, honestly, I mean, the whole thing about pilots and flight attendants, just getting it in whatever city they're shacked up for the night, right?
Yeah.
There's a stereotype about it. I don't know if that actually happens because I have never been nor plan to be a pilot in my time.
Hey, my dad can teach you.
I don't know. I don't know if I want those classes.
Why not?
I feel like he'd be a very impatient teacher.
Well, I don't know. We'll see.
He'd be the kind that would take off points for formatting on an essay, even though your content was perfect.
He's teaching his best friend right now, and he says that it's pretty rough, but he's being patient.
Todd, I see your heading is in Arial, and I required the whole paper to be in Times New Roman, so that'll be a 10% off. You're gonna go down to a B for that, Todd.
You would think Arial would be the type that he would want, though. Sorry, that was a bad joke. I'm gonna quit this podcast right now.
As far as JP Thorne goes, apparently he was not offended by this interaction. He plans to use Delta again, and if he had not had to catch a connecting flight to Nashville, he probably would have gone out for coffee with this guy. That's his quote, not mine. But he's like, he was a nice guy. I probably would have gotten coffee with him.
Why did this get so much attention?
I don't know.
I mean, it is out of the ordinary.
It's just a thing. JP Thorne, though, man, I don't know if you see this headline anywhere. This guy has freaking eyebrows for days, man. He's just got the thickest of all eyebrows.
Zac Efron brows.
Oh, totally. He's got like an unshaven look that is very becoming of him.
I wish I had thicker eyebrows. My eyebrows like disappear halfway through.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're doing fine.
They're more like lie brows. Sorry, there's another pun. If I do one more, please arrest me.
Yeah.
Strike three.
Call Chicago PD. I'm sure they got nothing better going on.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. Well, maybe they get some coffee at McDonald's in Britain.
Maybe they do. Maybe they have. Have you had McDonald's coffee?
I think I had a McCafe once, like a latte or whatever. Not a Shamrock Shake because it's got chocolate in it. And fun fact, I'm unable to eat chocolate.
Shamrock Shakes have chocolate in them?
I believe so, yes.
Really?
It's like a mint chocolate shake.
Really?
Yep.
Shamrock Shakes, controversial opinion, are a little bit gross.
Yeah.
Once a year they come around and I'm like, ooh, I'll get a Shamrock Shake. That sounds really good. And I take like 2 sips of it and I'm like, I've had enough of this Shamrock Shake. It is so freaking sweet. It like hits you with a wall of sugar. And I am not into that. I mean, I don't have a sweet tooth.
I don't think you would have had this experience, but did you ever try the unicorn coffee from Starbucks?
No, Todd, that doesn't sound like something I've ever tried.
I didn't imagine it would. Did you know anybody who had? Because I don't.
No. I had a peppermint mocha from Starbucks the other day.
Was that good?
That was tasty. Yeah. It was cold outside here, and I went into the Starbucks in our student union, and the barista was like, "Well, what can I get for you?" And I was like, "I need something hot and seasonal." She was like, "Do you want a peppermint mocha?" And I was like, "Yes, please." That sounds delicious.
Like a sad Tuscan wanting some peppermint mocha. Oh man. Speaking of you, Tuscan, where were you born?
I was born in Scotland, Todd.
No way.
In Edinburgh, in some hospital somewhere.
Did you know that my next story has to do with Scotland?
I did, but only because you prefaced it earlier.
Oh, well, that ruins the surprise. So basically, I'm just going to get right to the meat of the story. Young Scots say that not drinking alcohol holds back their career.
I agree.
They said that most people say that if you're aged 25 to 34, abstaining from alcohol dents their hopes of promotion. That was just over a quarter of Scottish workers that said that, and then another quarter said that they are not invited to social gatherings because they are a non-drinker, according to a survey.
Really?
Yeah, and 2/5 of adults in Scotland say they feel pressurized to drink by their friends, and a quarter say they have had to change their friends because they do not drink as much.
Wow.
This is according to the survey of Mocktails by Atomic Research. So, yeah.
You know, I mean, the Scottish, number one, are kind of known for their drinking. The Scottish and Irish, you know, those northern Brits, are kind of known for their drinking habits. You know, Scotch whiskey is a very prominent liquor around the world, known for its quality and delicious taste. And Irish whiskey is the same way. The Irish also make some decent beer. But
yeah, because they're all sad.
Welcome to another episode of Tuscan on Drugs. I'm going to tell you what I think about alcohol right here and now. Being of legal age in the country of America, I drink relatively frequently.
Good on ya.
Yeah, and I feel that it's perfectly fine. However, drinking in any sort of large quantity will make you fat and lazy and
sad.
Yeah, definitely sad, and will damage your liver. Right. It's a harmful drug, which to some people is an uncontrollable demon. Right. I have people in my family that are just ridiculous alcoholics, and they can't handle themselves around it. But when you're in a social situation as an adult, at least in the United States, and from my experience, you go out for a drink. If everybody's getting together at dinner, you order drinks. If you have nothing to do on a Saturday night, you get a couple of friends together, you go to a bar, you have a drink. If you're checking into a hotel and there's a wait before you can get up to your room, you go to the hotel bar and you get a drink. I mean, it's such a common thing. You walk into somebody's house, they offer you a drink. Can I get you a glass of wine? Can I get you a beer? Can I get you X, Y, Z? It's so common in our culture that it is almost a social faux pas to say, no, I don't drink. No, I'm not going to partake in the use of this drug in company, right?
Yeah.
And it's unique in that sense.
Well, I mean, that I drink much more rare than the average 21-year-old my age. Yeah, I definitely can see some of the effects of it. Like, I don't know, people definitely think that it makes me uncomfortable to be around drunk people if I don't know them well enough, which is not the case. Like, I really don't care. It's not for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. Like, people just think that that's a whole. I don't know. Like, I can understand not getting invited to things because it's not necessarily that they think, oh, they're the inviter will say, oh, this person just doesn't want to be around because they're gonna feel uncomfortable if we're gonna be drinking, which probably isn't the case. They don't want to drink. Their taste buds don't react the same. And their brains are not as enthralled at the taste of sweet wines.
Right, because you think as a person who drinks, you're like, I have fun when I'm drinking.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And if I go out to have fun, alcohol is involved.
Mm-hmm.
And if this guy comes and we're all out just drinking, what's he going to do? Well, he's going to do all the other things you're doing except hold an alcoholic beverage.
Yeah.
He'll have a Coke or an NA beer or something of similar, category.
Yeah.
If he has anything to drink, it just won't be alcoholic.
Which, I mean, drinking alcohol is like such an easy way to have fun. Like I totally get it. I think it's harder to find fun things to do that don't involve drinking, especially for people our age.
Absolutely.
Because of how popular it is. Because
well,
I don't know. Do you think that if we didn't have a constraint on it, that it would be less of a topical thing to do?
No. Wait, do you mean like if you could start drinking when at any age, like they do in Italy or something?
Yeah. Worldwide.
No.
Worldwide.
No, I like if it was not age restricted anywhere. No, I don't think it would be any less of a desirable thing.
Well, it was more desirable during Prohibition.
I think just during Prohibition it was a similar amount of desire, but people went to dire circumstances, or they went to dire means to create and obtain
according
alcohol.
to the statistics that according to the statistics that they have that I've read, the amount of alcohol consumed in the Prohibition era was more than the surrounding, eras.
Really?
Sandwiching it. Yeah.
Well,
which is interesting.
Yeah,
but I am an
perhaps.
idiot.
Yep.
So what do I know?
I wonder what it'll be like. It'll be an interesting case study to see what happens when weed becomes
Marijuana?
legal in most of the United States. Yeah. Because we're on a track for that to happen. It's almost inevitable.
That'll definitely happen. Yeah.
That if not nationally, then almost all states will individually legalize weed within the next 10 years or so. I would wager it'll be less than that, especially if there is like, I don't know, I don't want to get political here, but if there's like a Democrat in the presidency in 2020, I imagine that'll be a change that's made decently soon, because there are I think 10 states now, and the District of Columbia, which is over 20% of the country by state, has legalized marijuana for recreational use. Many more of those states have medical use marijuana legalized in their state. The state where I live, it is completely illegal. No medical license, no recreational use, nothing. So it could go one way or the other. I do think that it'll be pretty soon that it becomes legal, and I think it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Hey, pretty soon McDonald's is going to be selling weed. Like they had that THC drink that was Coke.
Yeah, Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola
Hey,
bought
they're going to
somebody.
be selling Coca-Cola. McDonald's is going to be taking over the world. The Hamburglar is going to be district attorney.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a wild world we live in.
Yeah. Well, you know who's taken over the Vice game, Todd?
Who is that?
That's Carl Westberg, Todd. He's built an empire on all the things that you want to do, but all of society says is wrong and immoral. He's got like this whole marijuana operation that he's running across 3 states. He's selling prohibition-style liquor without a license, not because he can't obtain a license, but because it's more fun to do it that way. He just likes to live on the edge, Todd.
he likes to make us the best moonshine anyone's ever had, and he's able to chug an entire bottle of moonshine in one sitting and be
I've seen him do it.
That's the type of man Carl Westberg is.
Yep.
He's
So
our
he's gonna be
one
the
sponsor for the show. Yep.
Yep.
You go for it, Tuscan.
You know what?
You want to take over me?
Yeah,
I
I'm gonna take us home.
cutting in for you.
Yeah.
All right.
He's
see how
the
this turf
sponsor of the
war plays out.
podcast. He's given us everything that we've required to set up shop here. And man, I gotta say, Carl Westberg, you're not coming through today. Todd and my equipment, it's not been working right. You need to buy Todd a new phone. He and a new computer and mic, and just
No, my
put me up in a
computer
better apartment.
and my mic are fine. Yeah, but
Yeah.
hey. But yeah, Tuscan can get a
Whatever.
better apartment. That'd be nice.
Whatever.
Yeah,
No,
Carl
I like
Westberg,
this
what are you doing?
apartment.
I actually haven't
So-
been to your apartment since you moved in. Since I helped you
Well,
move
check
in.
it out. I made a home out of it, Todd. I put up a Christmas tree, and it's decorated with cans of Miller Lite, and it looks
exactly.
looks like a beaut.
The way that it should be. Anyway, so yeah, if you want to check us out, we're on Instagram at Idiotic Opinions, I believe, and on Twitter at Opinions That Suck. That's SUK, Opinions That SUK suck. And so yeah, you can follow along with our releases weekly. We're dropping shows left and right every single week, trying to give you the freshest content. Make sure that your ear holes are happy with the vocal cords of both Todd and Tuscan, and we hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful week. I'm Todd.
Oh wait, hold on. Did you mention our email account?
No.
Yeah, be
Why
sure
would
to
I
send
do
us
that,
an email
Tuscan?
at studiosvolatile. Send us an
Volatile.
email at studiosvolatile@gmail.com. That's the one. That's the one
right.
you should use.
Oh yeah, and or comment on our if you're on YouTube. I know we said talking about leaving a comment on
Sure.
on political correctness. Yeah, we'd love to hear from you. Anytime that you have a story that you'd like us to cover, we have covered multiple stories on this podcast that that listeners have requested. So we really appreciate it. We love that you guys are showing us all the support. We really appreciate all the support we're getting from you. So we'd like to thank you. But yeah, is there anything else that I forgot, Tuscan?
Anyway, thanks for listening. Hope you have a great time. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk to you another time.
I can't hear a single thing that Tuscan is saying because our FaceTime Messenger is off. So, yeah, whatever he said is the truth.
That's what I said.
Okay, cool.
That was a disaster.
You've been listening to Idiots with Opinions.